Hi, good afternoon, guys. Happy Friday. This is Evelina from evelinahovish.com, and today I will tell you a really cool story from a book that I'm currently reading. So I'm hoping that's going to be short and sweet, to the point, tell you a really cool story that I thought it was really quite an interesting story about manifesting, and this is a perfect example of how manifestation works in action. How and what, and I'll tell you the story from the book, and I'll show you. The book is that I'm currently reading is E Squared by Pam Grout, and I'll tell you the story from this book, and I will also add my interpretation and the three lessons from that story that you can take and remember on a daily basis that will definitely help you in manifesting whatever it is that you want. So the story is, if you don't want to listen to me, you don't want to listen to my interpretation, which is a mistake, of course, and do come and listen, because you want to read the book. I highly recommend. The book is great. I'm only halfway through, actually, but I'm really enjoying it. It's E Squared by Pam Grout. And the story is, I'm not going to do the names just in case I pronounce them wrong or whatnot, but the story is on page 58 of the book, of the physical book. Okay. It's the paper cover edition. Okay. So there's this story about this woman that was absolutely broke, but she was very wise and very, is this lovely woman and funny and all that stuff. And she was pretty much, she called herself broke. And as she was on one of those lessons of, how to manifest things, and she was told that, okay, you gotta, write your desires and figure out what you want and put it down and all of that stuff. And she said, well, that doesn't, I'm pretty much broke, but why I wouldn't put something down and write down what is it that I want. And she wrote down that she wants a man, she wants a couple of desires, like a new car, new shoes, and also she thought it would be really cool to go on vacation in Mexico City. She has never been, but that would be a fantastic way to practice her Spanish. So she writes this story, and she writes this desire, and she's like, I have no money whatsoever. I'm broke, so there's no way I have this money for this vacation, but whatever, I'm just gonna write it down. It's, if nothing else, it's just a joke. And then she was told that she has to actually act the part and do some steps towards it. She was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the travel agent and I'm gonna book the trip, and by the time I have to pay, if I don't have the money, that the worst case that's gonna happen is that I'm gonna feel embarrassed in front of the travel agent. Not a big deal. Okay, so this is the thing here, and I'm just going to stop from the story, and this is one of the first things that I want you to pay attention to, is writing clarity on what is it that you want. That's the first thing. And then just removing that resistance of like, oh my God, if I'm not going to get it, it's going to be a disaster. She didn't have that approach. She said, okay, well, if nothing happens, if I can't pay that agent, the whole thing is just a joke for her. So there's like really little resistance. She's not desperate. She's not obsessed with it in a fearful way. And if I don't have the money to pay the agent, then the worst that can happen, I'm going to be embarrassed, and it's not a big deal. So there's like very little, if not like no resistance whatsoever. Okay, so she goes on with her life, and then no, she doesn't go on with her life. Then she was told that she needs to act the part. She needs to actually. She's not rich because she doesn't vibrate rich. She doesn't act the part, like she doesn't have a feeling of what it's like to be a rich person. And she's like, well, it's really tricky because obviously I'm broke and I don't know how to act rich. And she said, okay, fine. So what I'm gonna do is that you need to do something that will make you gonna feel rich. And she said, okay, well, the biggest thing for me is grocery shopping. It's always been really tricky. I am on the budget, and I always have to be really accurate in what I'm buying to be able to afford whatever it is within my budget. So she went into the grocery store. She's like, I need to do something like what rich people do. And she went to the gourmet section where in her eyes, what's rich people, where the rich people shop. And she's like, well, what can I get here? And she's like, okay, I'm gonna splurge on this little bottle of olives stuffed with almonds. So she buys a little bottle with olives stuffed with almonds, and she calls her friend, and she said, my dear friend, I'm gonna come over, we're gonna sit by your pool, we're gonna we're gonna get those crystal glasses, we're gonna pour some wine, and we're gonna pretend that we are in Mexico City, we're on vacation, and we're sitting by the pool, and we're drinking wine, and we're gonna play this game, and we're gonna eat those expensive olive stuffed with almonds. And a friend like, totally, like, come, we're gonna play, and we're gonna pretend that we're gonna make plans of what we're doing after that, and we're gonna go to the marketplace, and I'm gonna listen to some mariachi playing. So they have the whole game plan in action, which is a perfect here. Again, I'm digress from the story because this is what act the part of what is it that you want to manifest. And they sit by the pool, and they're actually doing it. I'm like, okay, we're totally making those plans, and they imagine as if they on vacation in Mexico City. And this is a perfect thing. Like, you gotta act like you gotta get into the feeling of what it would feel like, as if you already have that thing that you want at this point. So this friend, trying to not call the names, but this friend loved it so much. She said, I want to go to Mexico City as well with you on that vacation. And about a week later, this friend calls and it's like, oh, you know what? My mom said she's going to pay for my ticket. Now, original friend, our broke friend, she said, she was thinking like, what exactly is happening here? I'm the one that's doing the affirmations, and my friend now has this, her mom has manifested the ticket. Like, what's going on here? So that is my interpretation here is like, so first of all, she's holding the vision. She's actually doing the work, and then she sees in front of her somebody else is manifesting it. So first, that's the little bit of resistance, like, why is this happening to her? But at the same time, because it appeared in her reality, that means it could be her reality as well. Whatever we see that happens to others is what we see in our reality. That means it's available to us as well. So she's like, well, interesting. And she's like, okay, well, and then a couple of days later, the agent calls and said like, well, you need to pay soon for your vacation. And she's like, well, that's interesting. And then she got in the car and she said like, okay, I don't know how this is all happening. I've been doing the work. And she's having the conversation with God. She's like, I've been doing the work. I have done everything that I was supposed to do. And now that I'm going to the travel agent, money better show up. Somehow she's basically giving an ultimatum to God, to the universe, like, money better show up. Money better be there by the time I have to pay. On the way there, she is getting that intuition, that kind of calling to go to her mom's house. Now, she's actually admitting in the book that she was hoping that now that she had the thought of going to her mom, and she's like, oh, maybe I can go to my mom and ask her, and maybe she's going to offer to pay for my ticket. So she got the hitch to go to excuse me, to her mom's place before, and then she's like, oh, okay, good. The thought came in, I'm gonna go, and maybe she's gonna offer to pay for my ticket. Now, so this is interesting. The intuition is telling her to go to her mom. Now her human brain is telling her, well, maybe that's what's gonna happen. So kind of trying to figure out the how. And so she goes to her mom's place and she's spending some time with her, and then she's telling her all about this trip and all this amazing thing and how exciting it is, and that her friend's mom offered to pay for her ticket. And then her mom says, okay, and what you gonna do? So our friend goes like, well, that didn't work. So interesting, right? Like, and she's like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna leave. As she's about to walk away from her mom's house, the mom is saying, well, why don't you go and get the mail for me, please? And now she says like, I haven't been living in there, like I haven't received any mail to that address, to her parents' address, like 15 years. So she goes, checks the mail, and there's a letter. That's what's like, there's a letter for her name. She's like it's 15 years I haven't received any letters here to this address. So she gets a letter on her name, and she just rips it open, and the letter is from her friend from university days, from college, where they were so poor. So there was her roommate in university, and they were so poor, and they were trying to decorate the apartment from like Salvation Army days and shops, and like really great finds at a very low cost. And very soon after they were living together, our broke friend, she had got a job and she moved out. And she opens a letter, and the letter says, addressed to her, and she says, oh my God, I was going through my phone book and I found the address of your parents, and I've been really trying to get hold of you because when I left the apartment, I got married and we moved to whatever new place. And when I left the apartment that we lived in, and we lived in, so I had to sell all the things that we got for the apartment. And some of the things I managed to actually sell really well. So, and I was trying to find you because I felt that it was unfair to keep all the money. And here is the check with half of oh my God, I'm even telling the story. I get goosebumps. It's not even a story, but this is such a cool story. I love those kind of things. And she said, this is the check for half of the money from what I've managed to recover from the things that we had in our apartment. Now that amount was exactly what she had to pay to the travel agent plus $100 in spending fees. And she was like, this is absolutely freaky. So she paid for that trip, and they went on vacation with her friend to Mexico City. And as they were now the story continues a little bit. I was trying to make it under 10 minutes, but hey, it's interesting. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I do. So as they got to their destination, her friend was like getting flowers everywhere, and she was like, everywhere she would go, she either buy a flower, and she was like really focusing on flowers, and everywhere and sometimes she would go and people would give her flowers, and then they were sitting in the restaurant, and somebody delivered some flowers to her, and the friend goes like, I want to feel loved as well. Like, what's up with me? Like, why am I not getting attention? I want to show the universe, like, oh God, she said, show me some love too. I want to know that I'm loved. And not even 15 minutes later, she says that the waiter came to the table with some appetizers. And you know what he brought? He brought olives stuffed with almonds. So that's the story and about manifestation. And this is how amazing, and like, even this is a story, and I believe it's a real story that the author is saying in the book. But there are 3 major lessons that I want you really to pay attention here. First of all, get the clarity of what is it that you want, and write it down. Write it down, put your vision board, write it on your goal list, whatever it is. Just get clear on what you want. That's the first thing. Second of all, you got to act the part. You got to actually act as if you already have it. Get into the feeling if you want to envision it, but it's easier to talk if you go and play with it. Like, really, that's what they did. They wanted to play. They sat by the pool, they imagined, they talked about how they're going to the market, how they're going to see the mariachi play, how they in Mexico City, how they doing all of those things that they wanted to do. They actually talked, they actually envisioned and played the part, like act the part. And then do not worry about the how. You have no idea. Do not limit the universe. Do not limit God of how the thing is going to be delivered to you. If this friend was like trying to work it out, like how I'm going to get the money, where I'm going to get the money. No, she didn't. Now she was just trusting, like at some point she didn't really have the trust. She's like, God, show me, like the money better be there because I've been doing all this work. And then she gets this. So do not worry about the how. Do not limit in your human understanding of like how you can do things. Universe, God is so much wiser, so there's so much more opportunities for you that you cannot possibly imagine where what you need can come from. So you cannot imagine how can transpire in your life. And then follow the intuition, trust your intuition. She got that little feel, intuition feeling, like go to your mom's. Now she's like trying to humanly understand, like, oh well, I need to go because maybe she's gonna pay for my ticket. But that wasn't the case. The mom wasn't prepared to pay for the ticket, but that's fine. And then suddenly she got this letter, like, which was completely unexpected. She couldn't have even imagined that this friend will be sending her this check, like after so many years. But it all transpired. The clear desire was there. They acted the part. She didn't worry about the how, and she trusted her intuition. So I hope you find this story useful. If you want to get the book, you can get the book obviously on all the places where the book is sold. This is the book, and the story was on page 58. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.